Hey everybody, it's Tina. So as promised, here is a video on how I set up my glass encased, these are also called 7-day candles. This one is a little bit bigger than a 7-day candle. This is about the size of a normal 7-day candle, and I'll kind of hold it up. So sometimes these are called 14-day candles because of the bigger size, but you can use exactly the same method to set up a candle this size as I'm gonna do on this one. This one is gonna run alongside the prosperity service this week, meaning that the way I'm setting it up is for everybody who participated in the service to have an additional boost of prosperity. Personally, I love using these candles. They are effective. They're very effective, and it's an easy way to do a spell. The thing that I love the most about them too is that they burn for a long time, but also at the end of the burn, I can do a reading on the glass to kind of see how things went, if there's any major blockages. I did do a video previously on how to read the 7-day candles, so that is on my channel. I'll try to remember to link it in the description bar down below. But yeah, so this is going to be the opposite. This is going to be how to set up a 7-day candle or a glass encased candle. Now, most of your candles are going to come just like this, right? This is a candle from, I think I got this from a Botanica, but also they sell these into grocery stores. The Dollar Tree has them as well. You can get them almost anywhere. And when they come, they don't come loaded with anything particular. It's just literally the candle. But in this instance, because this is kind of like a nicer, more expensive candle, they have gone ahead and set this up for a prosperity spell. You can see the labels on there. They did choose colors that are in alignment with prosperity as well. And then in the top here, these candles are actually preloaded with different things, and all the different ones have different things in them. Sometimes they have herbs in them. They usually infuse like a money drawing oil in them. And then this one comes with a little petition paper that you can pull out after the candle melts down a little bit. You do need to be careful though, because as you can see, that paper is very close to the wick. So if this wick gets close to that paper, it is going to catch on fire and burn, could cause a fire hazard. So please be careful if you do end up getting one like this. For safety reasons, I am going to, there we go. Okay, so I pulled the paper out of there just because I'm not always, and this is not a good way to do this, guys. If you are burning candles at home, you should absolutely be with this candle as it is burning. Never, ever, ever leave a burning candle unattended. But for me, they go on my altar and they burn while I'm working, so I don't always have eyeballs on them. And I try to set it up as safely as possible for that purpose. All right, so let's go ahead and get started, and I'll talk to you guys about every step that I take when I'm setting one of these up. The first thing that I do is I remove any labels. So this one doesn't have one. I mean, this label is fine, but what I mean by labels is any like price tags or stickers. This one doesn't have one, but you can see most of them come with some sort of sticker. Sometimes it's on the bottom, but I do take that off. And then because this one doesn't have one, I don't have to do that. But what I'm going to do is spray it down with some Florida water. What I'm doing is cleansing the candle for two reasons. One, we cleanse candles because as they're being used in a magic spell, we only want the intentions that go in, that we are putting into the spell to go into the spell. So for instance, if someone touched this candle, which someone before me did touch this candle for sure. You know, it was made in wherever it was made and it was shipped to me, so somebody wrapped it up. If somebody touched the candle, their energy can transfer into the glass. We use glass in magic because it is a conduit of energy. It retains energy. So when we're putting things into it, it's very important that we cleanse this, because what happens if the person was in a bad mood or feeling down on their luck about money or something like that. We just don't want any energies at all to transfer into this. So what I do is, I'm not going to spray the label part because it is paper and it will probably smudge, but what I'm doing here is just spraying the areas that I can on the glass, and then just rubbing that in and just cleansing it. The second purpose for cleansing this candle is going to be that it's because it's an offering, right? The candle in and of itself is an offering. The oils are an offering. The herbs are an offering. Everything's an offering. So we want to be as respectful as possible when we offer this to our spirits. It's just respectful to give someone a gift that is clean and pretty and appropriate. And so I try to make all of those things happen before I put it on the altar to the best of my power. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking a charcoal incense tap. I use these all the time to burn resin incenses. So as you can see, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but it's burning now. So basically, you just set it under a flame, let it kind of catch. It doesn't catch on fire, as you can see, but you'll see like sparks and smoke coming from it. See what I mean? So it's literally a charcoal briquette. They make special ones. These are actually my favorite ones, and I get these from an Etsy seller. I have tried to find them online. I cannot. They're from Japan, and these are a little bit different. They're smaller as far as the charcoal goes, but because I have actually multiple spells to do after I do this, that'll burn for about an hour for me, so that's why I'm lighting that one. If I was just doing one spell or one candle, I would use one of these. They don't put off as many fumes. They smell a lot cleaner. They burn beautifully. Like, they're really good, high quality. They're very expensive compared to these especially, but I prefer to use them if I'm just doing one spell, but because I'm doing multiple, I'm gonna use a bigger one. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take an incense that has some sort of money, like that something in the incense or resin has some sort of money drawing metaphysical property. A few of those would include frankincense and myrrh. Both of those are really good for financial things, like if you're doing money spells. Other ones would be, they make special incenses that are just like money drawing incense. Usually they come in like a can like this, and I actually have a couple. I can pull one out and I'll show you guys. But you can use those as well. Now, those are not natural substances as far as I know. What I usually use these types of things for is because it's like a powder, it's intended, it's an incense, so it's intended to put on the charcoal. So I'll put a little bit on there today to show you guys what I'm doing. But generally I use these as like in addition to a spell. So I'll use the powder to coat the candle, like if I'm doing a figure candle, or I can put some in the top of here as well. It's just my preferred use for them, but this is the actual intended use. So what I'm gonna do is just take a pinch of this. And again, this one's Quick Money. They make these in all different kinds. I'm actually gonna be selling this in my shop very, very soon. So just put a little pinch on there. And as you can see, it creates smoke. Sorry, I'm trying to move myself out of the direct line of fire here. So what I like to do is just kind of hold the candle over that smoke, and this is what I call consecrating the candle. I think that's the right word to use, but what you're doing is making this candle your intended target. So when I do that, I do a little like chant. So I say, you are now the mind, body, and spirit of everyone who has participated in the prosperity service this week. Okay, so if I was doing it for an individual person, I would say, you are now the mind, body, and spirit of John Smith. You are now the mind, body, and spirit of John Smith, right? And basically what we're doing, again, the incense is an additional offering. We're just infusing this candle with as much good energy as we can, so that everything that we put into this, everything that touches this, is all geared towards our specific goal or intention. You don't have to do that. Some people just prefer, you can literally just light the candle, right? But I like to give my spells the absolute best chance of succeeding. I do, I prefer to do my spells on specific days of the week that govern different, that are governed by different planets that are in alignment with the work I'm doing. So Thursday is usually my money day. And so I generally do all money or success work on that day for myself. Clients can do whatever they want. It's up to them, but I prefer to do Thursdays. Again, that's just an additional boost. That does not mean that your spell is not going to work if you do it on a Friday. Friday is actually another good money day. It's the second best one to me. But it just, again, gives it another boost, another enhancement. Okay, so what I'm doing now is picking an odd number of oils. That can be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I mean, I wouldn't do 9, that's probably gonna flood your candle, but I am picking out some oils, and the ones that I'm gonna use here are called Better Business. I used these on the service yesterday. This is Fast Cash, and that's, obviously intended to do exactly that, bring money in quickly. And then this is my money drawing oil. This is my gold standard, everybody loves this one. It works really, really well. And it's very general and broad purpose. So you can use it for almost any money spell that you're doing. These two are obviously more suited towards specific types of spells. So a Better Business oil is going to be for those who have their own business or are doing something with their business where they need a boost. You can use it for work too. I prefer to use Crown of Success for if you're working for someone else, but again, it will work for that. Fast cash is going to be, again, to bring money in fast and going to help expedite the spell. So those 3 oils are picked out. I'm also going to add to the candle some herbs. Now you can use pretty much anything you want. I buy these blends from my local Botanica. A lady makes them and they're really, really good. I use them on almost all my spells. I have different ones for like, this one's love, and then I have protection. I have several actually, probably like 7 or 8 different varieties. But for today's candle, of course, we're gonna be using money. So what I do is I take my little tool here, and you can use a pen, you can use whatever sharp object you happen to have around. I got this from the Dollar Tree in the craft section. I think it's like a crochet or embellishment needle, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it was in the Dollar Tree at the craft section if you're looking for that. So what I'm gonna do is put a lucky number of holes in the top of my candle. Now for this candle, I would do 7 holes because that's about the right size for that. Because I have some more room to work here, I'm gonna do 13. 13 is my lucky number. It's really great for me for money spells. I see a lot of success with it with my clients as well. So I'm gonna do 13 holes right in the top of here. Okay, so there is that, and that's what it looks like. Now what I'm gonna do is take my oils here, and again, using a lucky number, I'm going to put a specific number of drops of oil into the candle. That is the entire purpose of my bottles coming with droppers, is so you can incorporate number magic if you so choose. Most of the conjure oils you get are gonna come in a bottle like this that has a screw top and not a dropper, and that's perfectly fine. But if you're buying those, you're gonna wanna invest in just a simple dropper, a medicine dropper, an eyedropper, because I think the number magic really adds another boost and again, another layer of power to the spell. So we're gonna do 7 drops of each of the 3 oils, making 21 drops total. I'm gonna be careful to do pretty small drops. I don't wanna squeeze the whole thing, because if you have too much oil in there, the candle can flood and then it'll have trouble staying lit, and you don't want that. Once that happens, it's a real pain to kind of get it going. So I'm doing 7 drops of Better Business, and again, small little drops, see? I try to get them in the hole as much as I can. I lifted the dropper so you guys can see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do the other 2 in the holes. So 7 drops of fast cash. Okay. And then 7 drops of money drawing as well. I like to give those a little zhuzh. And you'll notice when I'm doing spells, I hold my bottle like in my hands, because while I'm doing that, I'm putting energy into the bottle, right? Like I'm manifesting money, right? Like does that make sense? Like I'm putting my intention into the bottle. It already is in there. We put it in there for you, right? So that part of it is done, but it, again, cannot hurt anything, right? We're seeing big money, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So 7 drops of that. Now, you're gonna wanna put your accoutrements into the candle. So like any additional things that you wanna put. So like I said, we're gonna do a nice little pinch of the money drawing herbs, and these are for money, prosperity, lottery, luck, wealth, success, and attraction. Attraction being very important there. You wanna become a money magnet. That's really gonna be your goal when you're doing magic. It's a little bit of a process to get there usually, but it's not too hard. So I like the fact that she puts attraction herbs in this, because again, money's gonna come to you. It's gonna be attracted to you. So just a little pinch in there, just so you guys can see how much I did. And then I am gonna add, it already has glitter in there, and that is for a specific purpose. And I'll tell you in a second, but I am gonna add gold glitter into mine. I have several different colors of glitter. I use them on almost all my spells except for dark work, because they attract good spirits. If you'll see, like when you look at things like this, like in a botanica or at an online botanica, a lot of products are made with glitter. That's not for no reason, right? They put that in there because glitter attracts the good spirits. And so we want to make sure any positive work we're doing like this, good spirits, you know, hanging around would be an awesome benefit. So gold glitter, you can use green, you can use orange, you can use yellow. And if you just have like, you know, a specific color, like if you have just pink, you know, let's just say, you can put that in there. Again, it's not going to hurt it, but what I am incorporating here is color magic, right? So color is another way to incorporate an additional boost to your spell. Every possible way to make this work as quickly, as, you know, fast, sorry, that meant the same thing, quickly and fast, but as strong as possible. Everything I can do to make it work good, I'm gonna put it in there, okay? So now we've got our candle fully loaded. What I like to do next is to write a petition on the glass. All right, so if I'm doing this for one client, I'm basically gonna write your name and date of birth, starting at the bottom and going up here in a line. And then I'm gonna write 3 to 5 key words of what you're trying to do across it. So because I'm doing this for the entire prosperity service, let me grab my marker. Now, okay, so again, I keep different colored Sharpies on hand. Guess why? Because we're incorporating that color magic, okay? If you don't have that, please just use a black Sharpie, it's fine. The other option would be, they include this paper because the idea is that, weird, this is like a horoscope. I thought it was a little petition paper. Usually these candles come with like a blank piece of paper, but this is a horoscope. So maybe somebody needs this message. I don't know who, but it says, cover up is exposed. You will feel better as a result. Juicy. I like the juicy little horoscope in my money candle. That's fun. All right. So anyway, I will not use that. But if you wanted to write a small petition or a big petition, whatever you want, and just stick the paper underneath the candle and just let it burn right on top, that is another effective way to do this. But because I have the space and the Sharpie and all the tools, I'm going to go ahead and write it directly on the glass. I prefer to do it that way for these. All right. So what I'm going to write, because we want to write the name of our target. So I'm going to write all participants in, what was yesterday, the 9th, 8th. Okay. So I wrote, it's kind of hard to see, but I wrote all participants in 4/8/2021 prosperity service. So that is the name of my target. Now I'm going to write across that, going like top down like this, 3 words that I want to use as my petition. What do I want from this spell? You don't, again, I like to use an odd number of words, and what I feel truly is that when you use like kind of like punch words that are short, sweet, and to the point, Spirit has a lot easier of a time interpreting exactly what you want. So for this one, I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to do fast money. I'm just trying to think of all of the petitions, what were the most common requests. So fast money, abundance, and then success. Okay, so there's that. Now, something else that you could do is like write on here like a lucky number of $signs. That's called a sigil. There's different kinds of sigils. That's another video completely in its entirety. A $sign is a very easy sigil, which means an icon or an emblem that represents something spiritually, so that the spirits can understand it. $sign is literally a $sign. So, and there's other money sigils, of course, you can do, but I'm going very basic here. So I'm going to do 7 signs kind of going over here on the edge right next to the name, not over it. There we go. So $7 signs, again, pretty hard to see, but they are there, I assure you. Okay, so now we've got our candle cleansed, we've got it consecrated, we've got it fully loaded with everything that we want in there to do our spell. And so what I'm gonna do is take a match. This is very important. Do not use a lighter if you can avoid it. If that's all you have, fine, it's all you have. Personally, I would prefer if you have a lighter that you take, you know, an incense stick or something else that's safe to light on fire and light it that way. Lighters didn't exist when these spells were created, and so I am very much a traditionalist when it comes to this kind of work. I feel like the teachings of the, you know, the people that decided to come forward and write about these things, or, you know, do videos on these things or do blog posts on these things, are very sacred, and so I take that to heart. And I try to stick with, you know, the most traditional techniques as I possibly can. I love the style of it. I love the old schoolness of it, if that makes sense, and it works. It's been you know, tested and proven for literally hundreds of years now, so we know that it works. Stick with that, okay? So again, there's no like reason that a lighter that I know of would screw up your work, but because the matches were what was available to the folks that were doing these types of spells, traditionally, that is what I use, okay? I do believe that these 7-day candle spells started originally with like, because these are used commonly in churches, and so, you know, a lot of these religions that I'm pulling from, or practices that I'm pulling from, were very secretive when they were being done, you know, like 50 to 100 years ago. People could not practice openly in public, so they would hide their work in something that looked like something normal. So this would look like a, you know, a religious candle, or a, you know, a church candle. So it didn't look, you know, people didn't think twice about it. And so that's kind of like why we load it with all the cool little, you know, herbs and glitters and oils and stuff too, because that's essentially hidden. If this didn't have a big, you know, label on it, you wouldn't really know what it was, right? Okay, so the candle is going. So what I'm gonna do, because this is my workstation and I work here every day, so I'm gonna go ahead and set this candle right here so that I can, this is part of my altar, of course. I've got the flowers here and stuff like that too. I have several different altars in the house, but I prefer to keep, you know, the personal 7-day candles here, just so that I can keep an eye on them. If a client's doing them, I do put them on the altar, and I usually put them on the altar, well, not usually, but always put them on the altar of the saint or the deity or the entity that I'm working with. So either my ancestors, which is going to be the case here, or I've got, you know, all the Orisha, each have their own individual altar. Saint Expedite uses these kind of candles. Our Lady of Laredo uses those kind of candles, and pretty much every saint or, you know, deity is going to have, going to be accepting of those types of offerings. And then they all do different things. So depending on if I'm doing love work or money work or road opener work, or, you know, a new house spell, all of those would be, you know, put on different altars, because those Orisha and those saints govern different aspects of like need. So whatever you need, like Our Lady of Laredo, she's the lady that we go to, she's the saint that we go to for a new home when we need to find a, you know, a new place to live, or we're home shopping, or there's an emergency, something like that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So then it'll go on her altar if it's a new home spell. All right, my friends, that is it. So that is how I set up my glass encased candles. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you are in need of this service or any of my spells, products, anything like that, all of that is available in my Etsy shop, which will be linked down below. Yeah, so if you can't do this at home, I am more than happy to help you. I do accept new clients. So if you have any needs as far as spell work goes, I offer almost everything. So yeah, please check out my Etsy shop down below. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Much love, many blessings. Mwah. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.